Hello everyone, welcome to End Step. Rich, Maria, Paul here to kick things off straight on the heels of the top 8 announcement, where 5 Ramanat red decks will go up against mono black zombies, black red aggro and green black. It is going to be a burn fest and a half when we come back tomorrow. But Paul, card of the day. Is it going to be red this time?
You know, going into the tournament, I think I set the line at 2 red decks in the top 8. I was maybe a little bit off on that number, on that prediction, so we had to go with another card from the deck. And I'm going to go with Earthshaker Kenra as the card of the day. Now, you know, seemingly innocuous, 2 mana, 2/1 haste, it gets in for a little bit, but that Eternalize, that is a huge, huge game. It's a way for the mono red decks to not get flooded. It is impossible for this deck to now get flooded. With the combination of 4 Earthshaker Kenra, Hazoret the Fervent, and of course, Ramunap Ruins, just control decks have no chance, and this deck has game against everything in the field.
Would you have ever seen this card coming as something that would be included in the deck of the Pro Tour, just like looking at the spoiler or whatever when it came out?
It is pretty amazing if you think about it. It only took 2 cards, Earthshaker Kenra and Ramunap Ruins, to turn mono red from, yeah, this seems like a pretty mediocre option, to what's probably the best deck in Standard right now.
Unfloodable, unbeatable.
Unfloodable, unbeatable.
Maybe. All right, well, what about the team series? We're closing in on the end of the team series. Remember, 2 teams will eventually go to the World Championship. But with his reflections on the first season of the team series, here's our team man, Brian David Marshall.
Incredible. We really won't know until tomorrow's action plays out who our final 2 teams are. But, you know, there are players from, you know, Channel Fireball, from MTG, I'm sorry, from Genesis. We've got Sam Black from Team Mutiny, all playing for 30 pro points tomorrow. And, you know, we're not sure what's going to happen. We need to see how all the results in the Swiss standings play out. Because, again, you know, getting to X and 6, X and 5, X and 4. That's where the points start to add up and where these teams are going to really be able to make a difference. We're going to find that out. But I got to tell you, the team series has just been incredible. It's been incredible watching these teams pull for each other. And the team that I keep coming back to in this team series has been the combination of 2 teams, which is MTG Mint Card and MTG Bent Card. The camaraderie that we've seen on these 2 teams has just been amazing. We just had that interview with players from that team, the spillover of players that are associated with that team, all cheering for yet another player from their ranks to make the top 8. You know, we talked to Nam Sung Wook, who got qualified for the Pro Tour when Team MTG Mint Card made the top 4 at the last Pro Tour. And, you know, they talked about this very emotional dinner they had earlier this week, where he took everyone on the team out to dinner for getting him re-qualified for this Pro Tour. And you know what? If they finish in the top 4, potentially qualified for another Pro Tour next year. So it's just been an incredible, the sportsmanship, the camaraderie, and the spurring each other on to greater and greater heights has just been amazing, and I really can't wait. First thing I'm going to do in the morning is check and see which 2 teams are heading to the finals in Boston for the World Championships.
Thanks so much, BDM. We saw a lot of absolutely fantastic Magic played today, and it's time to head down to the feature match area to name our match of the day with our very own Tim Willoughby and Raleigh, the mouth from the south, Knight.
Well, Riley, it's just you, me, and the trophy left in the feature match area for today. Tomorrow, 8 players are going to be playing off to see who gets this one. But for today, we still need to pick our match of the day. And it's the end of the season. Of course, we had a bunch of fantastic matches in the feature match area. Before we get on to the one that I think was our unanimous favourite, I want to give a brief honourable mention to one that kind of stood out to me as a bit of a flavour win, if nothing else. Guillaume Wafo-Tapa against Tomoharu Saito, kind of a throwback to Yokohama many years ago now. The 2 of them both playing control decks, and it was a real back and forth sort of a fight. But the point where things really turned around started off when the Locust God came along for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa. He spent a whole bunch of turns generating those insects, gradually chump blocking, keeping himself alive. He was on just 4 life for so many turns, facing down a whole bunch of creatures on the other side of the battlefield. And then Pro Tour out of Devastation, there's only really one card that can close out games and be a full flavor win. That is Nicol Bolas, the God Pharaoh, and that's exactly what happened. Kudos to Saito for making it a full story win, because the very moment that Nicol Bolas came onto the battlefield, that was it. He extended the hand. Guillaume Wafotapa picked up the win. That, believe it or not, is our honourable mention, because Riley, what was our match of the day?
Match of the day, I mean, it's insane. We had some of the biggest names throughout the entire weekend, but obviously we had Johnny Magic himself sitting down across from the Flying Dutchman, Dr. Frank Karsten, and you know that these guys, I mean, they're seasoned pros. They're not here to muck about. And anyway, so Frankie Numbers, round 11, sits down against Finkel, and he looks at his opening hand. He's on the front foot. He's aggressive. He's playing a red-white beatdown deck, and he's thinking it's a sure bet. Unfortunately, he has got the absolute worst matchup in the room, because he sits down, look at these 2-drops, these 2-1s, whatever else it is going to get stuck in with. And John Finkel has 4 obelisk spiders in his deck, and his win condition is Approach of the Second Sun. And when he cast it twice, he didn't even have a planes on the battlefield. It was an absolute evisceration of Frank Karsten. This guy, he stood there, he spent 12 life to kill 1 obelisk spider attacking in with 2 1s and 4 4s and whatever else. It was so embarrassing for his very good deck to just be taken apart like this. And John Finkel, he's playing 4, 5, 6, 10 colours. I don't know what it was. Manolith getting him over the line eventually. But what really struck me about this is how the players responded to it at the end. And I mean, you saw it, you were there as well. Big smiles on their faces.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. I mean, it's obviously at the Pro Tour we see so much high pressure situations, so much tension. These players are playing for all sorts of glory prizes and so on and so forth. And the minute that Frank Karsten saw the second obelisk spider, he just started laughing. He had a little cheer the first time he managed to kill one off.
He's going doing these ones when he finally managed to kill one. But the thing that really stuck out to me about the match as well, which was really funny, the first game ends with Frank he got him from 4 life, right? Finkel's on 40, and for the entire match he attacked once. The entire match he attacked once, and he's taken him down. Unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Do go back through the Twitch video, get a chance to watch back on that match, and of course all of the great matches that we've had in the feature match area today. One match of the day, but so many fantastic matches. We hope you'll be able to check out all of them, and of course all of our matches tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Tim and Riley. Well, we've got BDM standing by with our player of the day, somebody who now has a dozen Pro Tour top 8s.
Thanks, Maria. I'm here with Paulo Vitor Domodoroso, the Hall of Famer, the 12-time Pro Tour top 8 competitor. It's just a gaudy, gaudy number, Paulo. You know, when you started your Magic career all those years ago, I mean, is this beyond even those dreams in terms of what you could achieve?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when I started playing, I was 8, so I didn't really have any dreams. I just liked the cards. So we've come a long way from that, yeah.
Now, 12, that puts you 4 behind John Finkel. Do you think about catching him in sheer volume?
I mean, I think about it. I know it's going to be tough. You know, it's still, maybe if he stops playing, I'll catch him at some point, but he doesn't look like he'll stop playing. So it's going to be tough. I hope I can do it someday, but it's going to be hard. It's going to take a while, even if I can do it.
I mean, the guy's like a metronome, though. I mean, he just ticks them off like, you know, like every year and a half or so. Now, tell me about just what this top 8 looks like. Is this what you were expecting when you know, you were preparing for this tournament? Has this standard format played out the way you anticipated?
Pretty much. We thought Mono Red was going to be the most popular deck by a lot, which it was. It was like twice as popular as every other deck, and then every other deck was 10%. So we thought there would maybe be some, you know, great deck that we missed, because I think the synergies in this format are like exist. So there is the potential for busted decks that we didn't find. We were worried that other people would find them, but no one did. So the metagame looked exactly like we imagined. Yeah.
What needs to happen tomorrow, aside from 3 wins, for you to be able to add another trophy to your mantle?
So the Player of the Year trophy?
Well, we got the Player of the Year trophy. We could add 2. We could add 2 trophies: Player of the Year trophy, and of course, you know, maybe another Pro Tour winning trophy.
I mean, I guess it just depends on. I haven't looked at all the red lists so far. I expect to play a lot of mono red mirrors, and it really comes down to sideboarding, because the main deck lists are almost identical. And I think we have a very good sideboard, so I think that's my path to victory, so to speak.
So, Player of the Year, if you reach the finals, you and your friend Marcio Carvalho will be tied for the Player of the Year. And to the best of my knowledge, that means a playoff at the first Pro Tour of the next season. Now, I could be wrong. There could be some change, but as far as I know, as far as Rich knew, this means a playoff. I'm going to tell you, I will be slightly rooting against you if you make the finals because I love a Player of the Year playoff.
Please don't do that. Please root for me.
All right, Paulo, good luck tomorrow. Good luck play testing tonight in your 12th Pro Tour Top 8. Paulo Vitor Dama-DeRosa, our Player of the Day.
He certainly is. Will he be Player of the Year? We'll find out tomorrow. Let's take a look at the overall scoreboard then as the Swiss rounds come to an end, not just for today, not just for this Pro Tour, but for this season. There are only 7 matches of Magic left in the 2016-2017 season. There is your scoreboard. Maria, walk us through the top 8.
All right, we've got Paulo Vitor Dama-DeRosa, his 12th Pro Tour Top 8 in first place. Sam Pardee, his 2nd in second place. Sam Black is in 3rd. Yam Wing Chun comes in at 4th. Shintaro Kurtara is at 5th. Felix Leong at 6th. Yusuke Sasabe at 7th. And Seth Manfield rounding out our top 8 at 8th.
So, Paul, 5 red decks, a green-black, a mono-black zombies, and a black-red aggro. If you could just take one, where would you want to be going to bed tonight, knowing the Pro Tour Top 8 was coming your way tomorrow?
If I were to choose one of these decks, I would go with the zombie deck. The zombie deck, we talked to a lot of mono red players. It's not an overwhelming favorite, but it's got all the tools to kind of, I think, give it a slight edge in the matchup. And that's all you can ask for because, look, it's a sea of mono red. And on top of that, I talked to Sam Pardee. I'm like, hey, what's the one deck you don't want to play in a tournament? He's like, well, I don't really want to play against zombies, right? Sam Pardee also has a pretty good matchup. Black-green has a good matchup against mono-red as well. But given that zombies is good against mono-red and black-green, that's where I'd want to be.
All right. Can the zombies do it? Will it be red? Can green-black get there? Or will we just have that little bit of black for the black-red aggro? You can find out tomorrow. Don't you dare miss it. It is a great top 8, and we can't wait to bring you the final day of the season. For Paul, for Maria, for everyone here, congratulations to our top 8. And thanks so much for being part of the ongoing Magic story. We'll see you tomorrow for the top 8.